You're listening to the RMTV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RMTV podcast, episode 17. I'm here with Luke and Geordie.
Hey, boys. Good to be back, boys.
It is, yeah.
Look at that shit-eating grin on his face.
What a great week we all had. Oh, not all of us.
It's just Monday, so it's been a great week for me.
It's been a great week for me. You know, Roosters won to start my week off. It's been pretty good.
My week started off on Wednesday, actually.
Should we move on, Jordan?
Look. All I'm going to say is obviously that Klein wasn't the only one copping it because Luke's got a smile on his face, so he obviously got some.
Yeah. So obviously, Queensland, they went on to get the win. With an asterisk, 26-24.
Big asterisks.
Over in Perth, big crowd of 57,000 there in AFL Heartland. But wow, I was very confident going into that. But I don't know. We'll start with the Queenslander here, and then we'll have our say.
Then we'll give the real story.
Mate, where do you want me to start? I'll start off with the first half.
Yeah.
Mate, Queensland, they out-tackled, out-ran, and out-disciplined the whole New South Wales team in the first half. At half-time, I thought, yeah, they'll put 50 on, but New South Wales, they came back in the second half. I'll give it to them. Yeah. And the Hammer, he looked good in the first half. He got a double, but in that second half, man, Brian Tyle and Latrell, they put it on him 3 times on that side, that left edge.
Yeah. Look, it would have been embarrassing, though, to have, if Lomax kicks 2 more of those goals, that would have been the biggest comeback in Origin history. So imagine if that happens. Could you imagine how quick the Queenslanders would have hidden back in their holes?
Oh, it was right, mate. Riley at halftime was giving it to me. The Westmead born Queenslander. And,
that's in Queensland.
And he was saying, what's happening? And then I didn't hear from him because the comeback was on. And I thought, here we go. Here comes New South Wales. But yeah, like you said, Geordie, mate, the kicks that let us down. I thought, Queensland were solid in the first half. I thought off the back of some iffy calls, I think Code Sports run a thing, picking up how many penalties the Blues could have got.
Yeah, so funnily you say that. The one difference I have to most New South Wales fans is I don't actually disagree with the penalties given to Queensland, right? Now, the final count for the game was 10-2. Mind you, it would have been 10-1, except Isaiah Yeo challenged for the tackle in the air, so we got the second one. Thank you, Chris Butler, because Ashley Klein's useless. But I have an issue with the amount that were missed for New South Wales. That is where my issue lies. Isaiah Yeo said it perfectly. You know, we were dumb in the first half, a lot of errors, a lot of stupid football, which led to penalties. There was a lot of 50-50s, but, you're going to get that in rugby league and you accept that. But if you're going to give 8 penalties to a team, you cannot say that Queensland team was so perfect to not give up at least 1 penalty in that first half. It wasn't until 5 minutes into the second half that the penalty was scored. And I'm going to say it, there was at least 3 penalties in the first half, and there was a penalty in the second half where we should have had a kick 5 metres out, a metre to the right, which Lomax actually would have kicked, ties the game up because Munster was offside. Yeah. So, cop that.
My opinion,
we don't care.
You guys are whinging about it. But hey, Lomax isn't a gruff for what he did. That tackle, Luai.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But even it hurt me when Cleary went in and scored, and Stefano. It was
that's just dumb.
Where Pat Carrigan was, and I thought,
But as a front rower, you're taught just go through the line, go through it. But I also want to talk about that Luai one because all you Queenslanders going, he's a grub. Ruben Cotter even came out and said it was not an eye gouge. And I bet you...
Do you think he's just saying that to put it to bed, or...?
No, if Cotter got eye gouged, he would admit it. I don't think there's anything in it. And that Lomax tackle, where he elbowed whoever he elbowed, Queensland, I don't really care who. Trent Liero, he's a Storm player. Who gives a shit? But I bet you if I look at every Queensland tackle, that when they got tackled, they've thrown an elbow out like that in that tackle. I bet you I can find 10 of them in that game. The only difference is Liero was that far over Lomax. He made contact. Happens in every tackle. There was no malice behind it. It was an accident.
Well, who was your standout in the game?
Oh, man.
Everyone, you could say Munster. Who was someone else that stood out?
I would say Harry Grant, honestly.
Yeah? He had a great game.
Couple of players stood out for me. Tom Dearden, it was... Yeah, he turned up on the night, which was really good to see.
Yeah, he had to, really.
Harry Grant and Munster, mate, they showed leadership. Both of them, Munster made, I think, 55 tackles. Harry Grant made 55 tackles. And even Munster in both attack and defense, he was so strong.
Yeah.
So they brought the boys up like in that first half pretty strong.
But you know why Dearden was so good? Your forwards done their job.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Your forwards done their job, so he could play like that.
If DCE played that game, I still reckon they would have got the same result, if anything more.
Yeah, I agree because like DCE would have done very similar. Yeah, he doesn't run as much as Dearden does. It's not his style, but that's what Munster's there for.
I think they can thank Aaron Woods for that one because he started the grub. He hit out at Billy Slater.
And I loved how Billy Slater, Munster came in the press conference, the post-match conference, and defended Billy like that.
Well, yeah, he obviously is good mates with him and he's played with him. You know, he's the captain, but obviously, yeah, Billy came out and apologised and there was all the drama with mentioning Paul Green. A lot of pressure was on Billy Slater. If Blues came back and won that,
he would have been gone. Like
I
Brad
reckon,
Fittler was.
Yeah, I reckon he would have lost his job after this series, 100%.
Anyway, so we'll look forward to a decider now. You know, I've come to it.
The script is there.
Yeah, it's going to be there. It's going to be a good one. We'll see if Ashley Klein's going to be the ref.
He got announced today to ref Game 3. It's been announced.
Your kid, are you serious?
Yeah, we're speaking about it.
Yeah, look, it's been rumoured that he's the NRL haven't officially confirmed it, but I think it's safe to say that once again they'll go with the 7th best ref in the NRL to referee it. And you can't disagree with me, Luke. He's not the best ref in the NRL.
He's stuffed us up every year, but this week he was a good man. Both games. Both games.
No, trust me, I'll tell you now, he wasn't good in the Roosters game, and I'll tell you why later.
Still wasn't good, and we won 40, what was it, 48?
42-8.
No, mate, trust me, I'm prepared for that one. Don't you worry.
All right. Well, now we'll move into our round 16 review, and then after that, we will look at a few news topics, and we will review the NRLW 2025 season, which is coming up, and then we'll look forward to round 17 with the Roosters bye. So
Weekends off.
13 plus.
All right. So the first one, Tigers Raiders at Campbelltown. Nice big crowd of 9,000 there, and I thought the Tigers had a crack again. They're not sealing these wins lately, aren't they? And they're slowly going down the bottom of the ladder. But yeah, Raiders, they just held on. I thought Canberra could have been due for a loss, but hey, look, Jed Stewart, he debuted. Ricky's son and his family was there, and he pipped a meat pie as well. So what did you boys think of the game?
Oh, no, it was good. Good to see all the Canberra fans get out. I think they packed out the 2 whole bays. Mate, big support up in Campbelltown. But Joe Tarpany, he stood out in that first half. He saved the try in the first, I think, 7 minutes, the 7th minute. Then he scored the first try for the game off a assist of Josh Papali'i.
Yeah. Do you think Raiders are going to secure that first spot now? Because they've got 2 buys up their sleeve, and I think they've got 4 home games.
I'm confident about them. They're looking good. And their forward pack, I know we were speaking a couple of weeks ago about Papali'i, like his age and all that, but, mate, he's aging like a fine wine.
Yeah, big Papa, mate.
He's no Teddy.
Good.
He's no Teddy. He's not aging like the Italian wine.
Yeah. And, over the ditch, I did call this last week on the potty. I said Warriors will lose. And then on the tips for our Instagram, I tipped Warriors, but yeah, Penrith got the win, 28-18. They looked a lot stronger and hungrier, and I think they were just due for a loss, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I mean, the score doesn't reflect how close it was. It was very close until the late stages, and then Penrith just broke it open. Like, it's one of those things. Look, it happens. The Wars haven't played that well at home this year, to be honest, which is surprising because they've played so well on the road. It's normally the other way around. Like, Auckland's a fortress for them, and then they suck in Australia. But they flipped the switch this year, I reckon.
That's it. They got a sold-out crowd as well. I think they sold that crowd out about a month ago.
I think for the next couple of years, the Wars will sell every week out over there. I think it's guaranteed almost.
Yeah, and like the atmosphere is amazing. Like we've said, Preston and I went to New Zealand earlier this year. Amazing atmosphere, but yeah, they had a couple injuries, I think, later on in the game. The last 20 minutes, Penrith just got up and scored a couple
Metcalf
tries.
went off.
Yeah, and Penrith, like lots of people didn't think they would get the win. They had 5 Origin players
I had
out.
a sneaky feeling still, even with the players out.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. It's next man up. That's the whole point of Origin. That's when you see that next man up mentality, and it's good to see these young guys coming in and staking a claim, going, "Hey, we want to keep having shots. We want to keep knocking that door down."
Yeah, and I think this could be the spark Penrith, get back into that top 8. You don't think so?
It's put them back in the 8, but
They're sitting on 8th at the moment.
Their run home, they're sort of coming out of the easy games now, and they're going to be getting tested. Like, they got the Dogs coming up next weekend, I think it is.
Yeah, Thursday night.
So, like, that's going to be a cracker. Crichton against his old club. Like, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and, like, against his old club, James Fisher-Harris, he was up against it. He was getting bashed around when he was. But
yeah, they gave it to him a bit.
Yeah, and, moving on now. Dolphins Knights. Nui, this was a shock, this one. 26-20 with a new addition. An old boy, Dom Young, back in the squad on the wing. How do you think Dom Young went? 1 week at the Chooks, now he's up at the Nui?
Mate, it's something Newcastle's not used to. 2 wins in a row this year.
Yeah.
He done it. One of them was against Newcastle, but look, he played all right. Look, he bagged himself a try. He did get caught out when Gagai was in the bin and got left with a bit of an overlap against him, which hurt, but and nearly cost him. Yeah, but I mean, nearly cost him the game, to be fair. But half his fault, half Gagai's fault for getting put in the bin.
I think that's 2 times now. 2 times in 2 weeks or 3 weeks they've won in the last minute or golden point.
Well, they had golden point against Manly, and then they just sneaked over. Brodie Jones just climbed over the line this week. So
so very very close games, but they got over the line. But Jack Bostock, man, I think he's one of their best players this year. The Dolphins. Even their coach said in the post-match conference, he's been one of their best.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's a suspected ACL injury.
Yeah, they're waiting on the scans, but the on-field test is ACL, and it's very rare those on-field tests are wrong. They're so good at them now. So it does suck because he's been entertaining. He just scored 4 the week before against Cowboys, comes out and then does his ACL, the poor bugger.
Yeah.
And Fletcher Sharp as well. Fletcher Sharp, lacerated kidney, like... Man, he goes off for a HIA and then ends up in bloody hospital because he's got a lacerated kidney. What the heck? Shows you how brutal the game is.
Oh, yeah. And I think the 2 things I take out of this is, obviously Bostock could be out now for the Finns. Finns, could they slip out of the 8? And for Nui, I think these last few wins, I reckon Adam O'Brien's job, I think he's all right for now.
I think we're changed. Like, I feel like every week in the NRL it changes which coach is on the chopping block. It's gone from Adam O'Brien to Seabold and Seabold, Des Hasler, and Toddy Payton now. So, like, it's a bit of a runaround on who's going to get the chop first.
Well, it was a good game in Perth, and one thing I liked seeing was the old jerseys. People in the crowd wearing the old North Sydney jerseys, the
Western Reds as well. Yeah. Like, that was a good shout.
I think they really, got to give it some publicity. They got 10,000 there, and just got to keep promoting the game over there until the Perth Bears are back. So.
Well, Big Mal was over there to do some promotional work, which was good, and hype the crowd up. So good to see they're getting him in there early to start doing some work.
He's probably also looking for his ocean front.
Yeah, 100%. Somewhere on the beach.
Yeah. All right, now we have a little special announcement. Geordie, take it away, mate.
Yeah, so Origin 3 is coming up. One of the big things about Origin 3 is the Wally Lewis medalist, the best player for the series. So, guys, we love a good giveaway here, and thanks to our friends at the Legal Problem Solver. So we're going to give you a chance to win a beautiful pergola. There'll be some stuff going up on our socials, so Instagram, Facebook this week. Let us know who you think's going to win the Wally Lewis medal. Because I'll tell you what, the first person to get it right, now this has to be in before full time of Game 3, obviously. The first person who can get the Wally Lewis medalist will win a pergola, thanks to our friends at the Legal Problem Solver. So how cool is that?
Summer sorted.
Yeah, definitely.
Beauty. Thanks, Geordie. All right, and this one was a really good game. South versus Storm. Another huge crowd at a call, mate. 10,000. If it was at Allianz, I don't know how much they'd get, but...
Mate, they said 10,000, but I reckon the number was actually higher. I reckon it was closer to 20 or 30,000. The reason I think that, obviously it was dressed like a seat night at a call, especially in the Burrow. I was sitting there watching it with the missus, so I got home from baseball and I put on the end of the Dolphins Knights game and then put on this, and I was sitting there and I just started laughing, and my wife goes to me, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "The Burrow." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "There's such an embarrassment." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Look how many people there." And she's like, "That's not a lot." I went, "I know." So I took a photo. But look, to be honest, I actually got really disappointed by this game. Storm went in twice in the first 10 minutes, and I thought, this is sweet. Like, they're going to put 60 on them. It's going to be a repeat of the West game. And then it just all went downhill from there. Storm started making some stupid errors.
They've done that a bit this year. And it's really testing Bellamy's blood pressure.
Look, That's Storm way, though. They throw the ball around and they get results, right? Unfortunately, this year it hasn't stuck as much as it has in the past. And I think that's the thing. Like, this year it hasn't really stuck where it normally does. But to be fair, at the end of the day, they got the win. I mean, if Bellamy rips them after a 40-point win, what's he going to do after a golden point win? Perhaps nailing that field goal. Thank you, Latrell, for missing one from about 45 out. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, when it went up, I was like, oh, you're not, no. And I saw it miss. I was like, yes, thank you.
Maybe we'll save that field goal to call for Origin.
That would, yeah, you know what? No more field goals until Origin, Latrell.
Yeah.
You need someone to kick your goals first.
Yeah. Even I said, get me out there.
Mate, I think any of us could do a better job than that. And I mean, my kick attempts aren't any good. But I'm coming back to the super coach debate.
Yeah.
Bellamy has now won 15 in a row against Bennett. Who is the super coach?
Definitely Bellamy.
You cannot say that Bennett is a super coach when Bellamy is absolutely nailing him to a pole at the moment.
Yeah. I'll say Bellamy as well. I've only seen the back end of Bennett's coaching career. Obviously, he's coached for a long time, but yeah, what Bellamy's done is impressive. And he always seems to get the wood over old Wayne.
Mate, he does it. Like, look, Wayne, I get with that, like, 2006 Broncos team, but quite frankly, when you're running out in the NRL with pretty much the Australian team, you shouldn't be losing.
No.
But now it's like, oh, yeah, he's getting a bit out of Latrell, he's getting a bit out of Walker and all this, but I don't see the super. I get he's, done it for nearly 1,000 games, I get that, but you can't tell me he's better than Bellamy with Bellamy's record.
I think he was better off staying at the Finns, to be honest. With the way South's going this year.
Yeah, and I called it at the beginning of the year, South Spoon.
So did I, thank you.
Yeah,
We both went it.
You've gone Para, but yeah, we'll touch on Para soon. But they just got that win over the Titans. But yeah, we'll move on. We'll go Broncos Cronulla. Now, I tell you what, I thought Broncos played, I don't know how they won. I really don't know how they won. 34-28. But Cronulla, they just died off in the last 20, or more so the second half.
Well, look, I mean, to think about it, they were leading 22-6 at one point. And then it just went downhill. Like, look, Reynolds wound back that clock. Like, that's 2014 Adam Reynolds at certain points in that game, and I think that's why the Broncos turned it around.
He pulled it out.
Yeah, when Reynolds goes into that mode, there ain't many people that are going to beat him. I think Walsh is still majorly struggling. There was video of him before the game having to get his knee re-strapped. Trying to even just field in warm-ups, trying to field a ball that's rolling around the ground.
And the mascara touched up.
Yeah, the mascara, the eyelashes. But he's getting up and wiping mascara out of his eyes because he's in tears, from pain. So I think Walsh in that team it's good to have him back for them. They obviously like something about him. But he's still hurt, so is he impacting the way he could be? Reynolds has taken a lot on himself, so it's basically Haas, Carrigan, Reynolds. Mam's doing his best, and he can crash over every now and then, but there's only so much he can do. Got somebody with it, yes. But yeah, Cronulla's form, boys. It's if you're Craig Fitzgibbon, it's got to be a concern, right?
Oh, 100%. They should have just ran away with that win. The first half, the Broncos are throwing nothing. Their attack was just so jarring, and it's like they'd pass it to Mam, he'll do something, get tackled, go right side, left, and obviously their attack clicked in the second half. But yeah, Cronulla, it's that pretender form I keep seeing, and yeah, who do they have next week? Good question.
Melbourne. They got Melbourne.
Oh yeah, Melbourne in Melbourne as well.
Yeah, there you go.
As we've seen before, Melbourne on Sunday afternoon games, they come out strong.
They love a fast track down there
and
in Melbourne.
I think Melbourne will want to really put it on after what they dished up against South. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where Fitzy goes there with Cronulla. Does he move Nico Hines around? Obviously Hines in the halves. He's not finishing off games, Nico, and it's been critical in the media. People have dished it to him, and he's not being talked about with Origin. He's just focusing on clubland. But yeah, I think that's maybe somewhere Fitzy might move in the backs or even fullback potentially.
Buzz actually wrote an article in Code Sports today. And it was basically, and look, I've been saying this all year, Trindle's their halfback, but he's playing in the 6 jersey. Is move Trindle to 7, Daniel Atkinson to 6, Will Kennedy struggling with form at the moment, drop him out of the side, put Nico Hines in at fullback. Reason being, you're paying Nico $1 million a year, you need him to do something. He can still impact from fullback. He played a lot of time at fullback for Melbourne when Pappenhausen was out. So is that a shout? Is that get him out of the halves? He's $1 million man, so if you put him at fullback, it's not a really bad thing. But he's not doing his job as a halfback. So why?
Yeah, I get what you mean, but Will Kennedy, I know he hasn't had the best season this year, but I feel like Nico wouldn't perform in the fullback. I know he's played fullback before, but I think Will Kennedy, you got to keep him in that position regardless.
Yeah, we'll see if
And Trindle as well, like, I know Cronulla aren't having the best season, but even yesterday, Trindle had like a massive game.
He does everything for them.
He steps up. It's just, it's like you said, Hines is probably the problem out of all this.
Yeah. I mean, look, yeah, and Trindle, well, yeah, he was the one, he had a big tacky as well. Going in the second half. Did you see that one as well?
Yeah.
I saw the Fox leg and he just starts throwing up. I think about 3 bursts. I went, oh, here we go.
Mate, once you have a tacky like that, you need to come out and win a game. Like, you can't have a tack and then just lose. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. And, all right, well, let's, we'll move in now to our Chookies. 42-8 with a nice 21,000 there, Allianz, as the drum, was it beating loud and proud, was it, Lukey?
My hand's stuffed for a week. Luckily, we got the bye next week.
That's what I said to him. I was like, go as hard as you want. You get a week off next week, so no excuse. There's no HIAs today. It's DIAs. Drum. What is it? What does it call it? Drum injury assessment. Yeah. But boys, before I go on a rant, a small rant. I promised to only go on a small rant this week, unlike last week. Benai Euli. That kid is a hooker who had to play 51 minutes when I guarantee he was not planned to play 51 minutes after Wong went out. 2 try assists from kicks. First one, and we were in amazement at this, he goes for a 40-20, puts some backspin on the ball, which I don't know if it was intended or not, but that thing just sits up for Bobby Toyer. Bobby Toyer goes, thank you, steps around, Drinkwater goes, off to Watson. Watson goes under the post. And then has the nerve, and I'm going to say has the nerve to do this, gets a ball, 2 defenders in front of him that could have tackled him about 6 times, just cool, calm, collected, straight to Toops. Toops catches it, runs over the line, walks over the line and puts it down. Like, that kid has come out of nowhere. I know he's been in our program for a while. He's a very young guy. He's hopefully going to be with us for a very long time. But his performance yesterday was incredible. He stood up and just done everything right.
Yeah.
He only made his debut a month ago, I think, at Gosford, wasn't it?
The Gosford game.
Yeah, and mate, he's just stepped up. Yesterday, he clearly showed it, like Jordan said.
Yeah, I think I was watching it from work, so I had it on the background, but mate, it was one of those Roosters games where the ball's a magnet. Everything just stuck. It's like, it's one of those games where in the second half, that try went through like almost the whole team. It's like back, and then
Hugo knocks it in.
Yeah, and Hugo, then Marky Mark. No, I can need to ask him, mate. He's become one of my favourite players.
He's officially the human highlight reel.
Yeah.
The guy had, what I'm calling the try of the year against the Dogs earlier this year, and then just shits and giggles, decides to, throw some more things in, have a bit of fun with it. Let's see what we can do. Kick back in, do this, do that. Like, the guy's just, he's on another level, and you see that Sevens background. It's bloody crazy.
Yeah, it's paying off for the Chookies, and I thought, I'll tell you who was good, Lindsay. Backing off after Origin.
Queensland mode.
I forgot to mention that about the Origin game.
Yeah.
He ran over Spencer 2 times. I forgot about
Spencer, it was once. Spencer laid him out once, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't try that. It was 1-on-1.
Who was your standout at Allianz, mate?
Man, I say Teddy. And he's been my standout for a lot of games this year. All year, I've been copying it from other supporters saying he's washed, he's done, this and that. I reckon I'm not saying it as a Roosters, only because I'm a Roosters supporter. He's one of the best fullbacks in the comp right now.
I think he's the best fullback right now.
At this stage, I will be very surprised, and I'm going to use the old saying of I'll bet my house on it. If he's not leading the Daily M's right now, I know they're behind closed doors, the people voting need to be shot. Like, in all due respect, because him and Metcalf were pretty much neck and neck going into when it was closed after round 15. And we've had some great games where he has stood up. So if he's not leading them now, or at least tied with Metcalf still at the top, some people need to be shot. But I'm about to have a shot at Ashley Klein and Chris Butler. Both of them. I'm going to have a shot at both of them on this because it's both their faults. Siwa Wong. All right. Guy's gone now for 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL injury. Might sound familiar to Roosters fans. It happened to Nat Butcher earlier this year and Nafahu White. Now, Nafahu's wasn't the best tackle, but it was more of it was an accident. There was nothing, it wasn't preventable. Carl Lawton has today been charged with a grade 3 dangerous conduct for a cannonball tackle on Siwa. It's the second time this year from dangerous conduct where a player on the opposition team has been suspended for 2 weeks, yet we didn't even get a penalty on field. So how do you suspend someone for 2 weeks from the MRC, but the referee on field, which I understand you can't always see everything, but the bunker who has 30 million chances to look at it can't see a guy cannonball directly into the side of the knee, which has caused an MCL tear. That's twice this year now that it's happened. It's a load of crap. Joey Johns came out and said it as well. It was like there was no more momentum in the tackle. If he wanted to get involved, all you do is you get there, you wrap the legs, you drop him, which is normal third man in behaviour. He has gone in, led with the shoulder, straight into the side of his knee. How do you not have a penalty or a sin bin? If that was Jared or Victor, imagine how quick Klein would have put him in the bin.
Yeah.
I think they would have gone to jail, to be honest, if it was
Mate,
one of them.
they would have been in Long Bay with Klein. But it frustrates me, not just as a Roosters fan, like I know I'm sounding like the Roosters fan bias, but as a football fan, like there's all this talk around, head highs, we've got to cut it out. Mate, this is knocking people out of the game for more than head highs. This is...
It's getting swept to the side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting swept to the side. It's 6... Look, comfortably, it's 6 weeks. Siwa Wong will be off on the bench when he has been one of our best this year and having a breakout year. Like, it's not acceptable. It's absolute bullshit.
It's a bit it's a bit sad for Wong. Obviously, could miss up to 6 weeks, and now Lawton just gets 2 weeks suspension.
Yeah,
and he was the one who did it. It's like maybe you match it. Why don't you get 6 weeks as well?
Even the fact that there was no punishment on field, that's my first issue with this. Like that's obviously a discussion that a lot of people bring up is, well, if you're not, if you do that, should you match their time? But how do you not even? We don't even get a penalty for that.
Yeah. And people are saying, you guys win the league comfortably, like it doesn't matter. But that's not the issue.
No.
Regardless of the score, regardless of the result at the time, you have to give our penalty. You got to sin bin him.
I bet you
to stay consistent.
I bet you if we done that to say Tom Dearden, and we were losing by 6 points, whoever done it to Dearden would have been in the bin quicker than you could see. And Klein wouldn't have even needed the bunker. Would have been on report and in the bin. It didn't even get put on report.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, as a football fan, that is wrong. They want to protect everyone. They ain't protecting people, are they?
Nah, it's frustrating. So, we'll see.
That's my rant.
Yeah. All right. Well, good rant, mate. Good rant.
Thanks, mate.
Not as intense as last week's against Sutton.
I tried to keep it down a bit because it's not technically Klein's fault, but we tried.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last game of the round where I thought not many people would show up, but they got 8,000 at Combank. Para 36 over Titans 20. Yeah. What'd you take out of it, Lukey?
And that was actually a good game. Lomax, he definitely practiced his conversions for that game.
Yeah.
6 from 6, so...
That's what happens when they're straight in front.
Yeah, he did all right. But one player, boys, that stood out for me, Isaiah Iongi. From the very get-go, the first try. Do you see that try assist, the Harbour Bridge pass? That gave me Sammy Walker vibes.
Yeah.
Well, mate, he made 3 try assists, and he's been their best player. I think Jordan spoke about it on the potty last week. He's been their best player this year.
Yeah, he'll mould into a great fullback. Obviously... I guess you can say at the beginning of the year, Para fans could have missed Gutho, but I think they'll enjoy seeing Isaiah for the back end and into next season as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking good, but they were up 18-6, I think. Then they let Gold Coast come, so it was back and forth for a bit. Then just the last 20 minutes, Will Penasini, he got 2 tries, and I don't know why he would do it. He made that speed tackle,
Riley
and
Smith.
now he's gone. Yeah, and Will Penasini.
Oh yeah,
both of them are on report. So Will Penasini is out for 3 to 4 weeks. He got sin bin in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. And
Riley Smith's out 2 to 3 match ban.
Yeah.
And it's not like frustrations of we're down by 6, I need to do something big. They were up at that point. So he's just stupid.
It was just very silly.
Lack of concentration, and now he's going to face a few weeks on the sidelines for that. I saw it in the background, that and I thought, that tackle looked a bit concerning. And who was the player? Whoever
was
got
it on Firma, I think it was?
Bo Firma, yeah, that's right.
He was down for a bit, but then he obviously got back up.
And did you guys see now, because the Jaden Campbell injury, Bo Firma, I was reading today, he's going to be the one kicking goals now for them. Did you guys see that?
To be fair, I was coming home from obviously the Roosters game, and I was on the metro heading to Sydenham because track works, and I was like looking at it, I was like, is that Firma kicking? I was like, not my first choice when you got Kieran Foran, AJ Brimson. You know, like I thought a winger might
Even give Pereira a go.
Mate, I tell you what, he kicked one, so he's obviously not that bad.
Talking about him, Pereira though, I know Gold Coast haven't had the best season, but that intercept full field try, mate, he's looking good. He's the fastest player in the NIL by far.
Yeah, I don't think the old Fox could chase him these days.
I know him and Dom Young would be an interesting race just to see what they got, because Gold Coast last year, Young almost caught him from the other side of the field. So,
do you think Desi is he walking on thin ice?
I think he's walking on thin ice.
Because that was, Titans were favourites in that one.
At the start of the year, if you said Titans to get the spoon, I would laugh. Like, with Des Hasler as the coach, the amount of experience he's had, it's like Wayne Bennett now.
yeah,
You wouldn't expect it.
I think with Desi, I think he's a bit old school, Des, and I think it's time to just pack it up. Go retire, mate. Go play some golf. I think so. I just don't know if he can coach anymore.
I think Gold Coast will hold on to him until they find their man. And he was supposed to be their man after they got rid of Justin Holbrook. But I think now that Perth is sorted out, you're going to see the Gold Coast start to look at your Sammy Burgesses, your Brad Arthurs. Not that I think either of them are the answer, but looking at that type of coach, maybe looking at a Boyd Cordner or someone like that, trying to bring someone up there, because they need to do something. There's something going on in that club, and they need to do something about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gold Coast, mate, they go through coaches like Ezra goes through speeding tickets.
Jeez.
Anyway, let's
After their performance last night, I would honestly say they're probably favourites to get the spoon right now.
I don't know.
But
Like,
then-
they're only 2 points. Like, literally, they win one game and South lose. If Para and Titans win this weekend and South lose, South are in last.
I was gonna say,
It's tight.
I know Para fans are thinking, we haven't got much to play for, but I reckon they can make the top 13, top 12. But with those stupid tackles, like I mentioned before, why would you do that? You're up in the lead. Yeah, they got no one. They got Moses out. I think Dylan Brown comes back next week. He was suspended for a game.
Moses is out for another 5 weeks. So
Just stupid from Para, man.
as we say, mate, what's the matter, Parramatta?
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by FDS Eyewear. FDS Eyewear is your one-stop shop for quality, affordable eyewear. With the latest lens technology and weekly eye testing services, FDS Eyewear provides competitive rates over the larger optical retailers. Visit their store at Wentworthville Plaza, just a short drive from Parramatta.
All right, well, we'll move in now. A few news topics. So, Jai Arrow at full time, he was caught. Didn't shake the Melbourne Storm, although they didn't shake their hands at full time, and he had a little bit of a sook, kicked a chair, and headed to the sheds. But what do we make of that one?
I get he was frustrated, man. You lose games, you're a bit pissed off, but come on,
Yeah,
you
I
can't
think
do
that
that
as well. I think shake the opposition's hands.
look, there's been a lot made out of it. Do I agree that players should be laughing and joking with opposition after a loss? You know, I understand why some fans get irked by that, but that's under sixes stuff, man. Whether you win, lose, draw, whatever, you shake the opposition fans. If you're that pissed off, shake their hands, get straight off.
And then,
But you've made yourself look like a bit of a dick because you've just walked straight off the field. On the way out, before you've even gotten in the tunnel, you've kicked a seat over in front of all the fans. Like, it's a bad look. I get he was angry. I get he's frustrated. But, mate, it's under sixes stuff.
I think Jai, he needs to take a chill pill because this isn't the first time. Against the Bulldogs, he started chirping off against the crowd, and it just seems he can't keep his cool.
No, he didn't like it when the crowd chirped back at him either, that's for sure.
Those hostile Doggies fans as well, mate. They
The bandwagoners.
Yeah.
Do you boys think it's a Queenslander in him? He's a Queenslander.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from in Queensland, but I reckon he
Westmead.
Westmead, yeah.
Probably. Mascot.
Yeah. No, I think he's probably had a few of those blow ups in his time. So
Yeah, he's a bit like that.
So going to another person having a sook. Well, Cleary. Him and his Origin players, they had to travel from Perth to Auckland ahead of the Saturday game, and obviously they didn't travel over, mate. What do you take out of that?
This provided me so much entertainment this week on Facebook. Now, first thing I want to say is, Ivan Cleary, you're a little bitch. Don't blame the NRL and the RLPA. It was not their decision to stop players from playing. It was yours. You chose not to take them over there. So the big thing is, and massive shout out to Andrew Webster, who came out when the media asked him the same question and said, look, we could play them. It's not ideal. By the time they get back, do their rest, recovery, get their prep work in, it's not going to be ideal. Ivan Cleary came out and straight away said it's been taken out of our hands. Well, no, it hasn't been. You could have played if you wanted them to. So, Cleary, you're a sook. Stop being a sook. Because Lindsay Smith was in Perth on Wednesday night because he was 19th man. He made the flight over and then played on the Saturday. I get he didn't play in the Origin game. But, again, it was Penrith's choice. Don't come out and blame the NRL and the RLPA when it's your own choice. His players, and I've done the maths on this, boys, could have flown into Auckland at 9 o'clock on Thursday night, which means Thursday night / Friday morning do your recovery, apart from what you would have done after Origin, then play the Saturday afternoon with a captain's run on Friday. Was possible to be done. Stop being a little bitch and having a sook because things aren't going your way. It could have been done.
Yeah.
And most teams get like to New Zealand a day or two before anyway, so it would have not made much of a difference.
What about Hudson Young and Jerome Luai? They played on the Friday night, so they fly back in on Thursday and then play Friday. They theoretically have less recovery time and prep time than those Penrith players would have.
And they both turned up on the night, so no excuse for Penrith.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I guess obviously Cleary didn't carry on the Suki debate because Penrith got the win, so I guess.
Oh, if they lost,
he would
mate, I'm telling you, it would have blown up bigger than the Hindenburg.
Bigger than Bellamy?
Bellamy would have had nothing on this. It would have been a 20 on Bellamy's Richter scale.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll look now at the NRLW. So the season's about to kick off very shortly on the 3rd of July. So, and this year they're going to have 11 teams and a 6-team finals comp. I'll tell you what, the game is growing. From when I first started reporting on things in uni and stuff, there was only, I think, 4 teams.
Well, at one point it was Brisbane, St. George, the Roosters, and who was the 4th? Well, the Wires started.
Yeah, and then they got kicked out during COVID. Yep.
Was it
Cronulla only came in last year. So
Parramatta, sorry.
Para and West and all that slowly came in over time, like the Knights came in and all that. But you know what? Credit to the NRL and the NRLW. They have done their expansion right. And Benny's a big... Benny, our producer, obviously says this a lot, and I agree with him 100%. Have either of you ever watched an AFLW game?
I have, and it's like just watching...
Was it the worst experience of your life?
Oh, yeah. Terrible. And
I'm saying this respectfully to women's sports. The AFLW went, every single team has to have a women's team straight away.
Yeah.
The NRLW is allowing them to build, which means the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership can build players into this.
Yeah, you're right. And the AFL... They just jumped out the gates too early, I think, with bringing all the teams in at once. And now you can see it's backfired because the viewership's so low and it's like just suburban footy for them.
The average crowd attendance is not even in the thousands.
No, it's just past footy, yeah. And the NRL, the women's games is going so well. Like pre-men's Origin, their Origin series was the most watched footy out of the men and women prior to obviously the men's Origin.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. Obviously, the Doggies going to debut this year, and there's going to be a few, or maybe next year. There could be a few more teams coming in slowly. I know the Penrith Panthers, they've brought in their own women's side, which aren't obviously playing in the comp this year, but
so they've brought them into the Harvey Norman Women's, which is the step below. Which it's a good start and it's a good push towards what they're planning.
Wales Cup.
Yeah, it's their New South Wales Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great decision. The Doggies coming in this year. As we know, they've got a big fan base, and lots of them will get behind the NIL women's. I forgot which game. I don't know if it was the Roosters game at halftime. At Core Stadium, the King's birthday.
Yeah.
They all the women's players they introduced player by player.
Yeah,
you can tell there's going to be a lot of support behind that new Bulldogs team that's starting this year.
Yeah, good.
And the Wires coming back after COVID and everything. They get big
That's good
crowds.
for New Zealand
It's good.
as well.
You love to see it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. To be honest, that Wires team's gonna be dangerous, and they're gonna challenge for it.
Yeah, it would be good to see. Obviously, the women's Roosters side obviously win another comp, but it'd be good to see another team get one because there's obviously been...
Well, it's been a 3-horse race so far. Like, St. George's made a couple of finals but gone down. But, you know, the first 3 years of the comp, 2018 to 2020, the Broncos won it. 21, the Roosters came out and won it against St. George up at Redcliffe Stadium. They held it that year. 22, 23, the Knights won it. And then 24, the Roosters won it. So, shout out to Jazzy Strange. She's technically on a 3-year streak of winning a premiership because she had the 2 years with the Knights and then one with the Roosters. So, you know, maybe she's going for a 4-peat. She can do what Penrith done by herself.
So looking at the predicted premiers, courtesy of Sportsbet, Broncos are paying $2.88. Chooks at $3.60. You can pip the Bulldogs women's side $15, and the poor Tigers $36 there at the bottom.
Wooden spooners from last year though. That's why.
I'm honestly surprised that the Roosters are not favourites. I know they're second favourites, but we've seen this year already in Origin the players that stood out. Most of them were Roosters players.
Yeah.
Olivia Koenig, since last year she's been playing her best footy every game, and this year they're going to be interesting to watch. I reckon they'll come close to being undefeated most of the year.
I think I've got a theory why the Broncos are favourites. So, like, the Broncos and Roosters are generally the two main teams. But Tamika Upton, she's left Newcastle. She's gone back to Brisbane where she's from. And I think that's why it gives Brisbane that elite fullback that they've kind of missed the last couple of years in the women's game. And I think with her there's going to be a lot of differences because there's a lot of Queensland Origin players in that Brisbane team. So, be interesting to see.
Hopefully it's a pretty even comp, like the men's comp at the moment. You know, it could be a comp where you just have your 2-3 teams at the top and then the rest are just down below. But
16 finals this year as well, which is a big difference because the last few years it's been literally 4, and it's you play your semi, you win your semi. So you could. There was 1 year that Parramatta finished 4th, but only won 1 game when it was like a 5-team comp.
Yeah.
But then beat the Roosters, who were minor premiers, who hadn't lost a game all year, and it's like that's a crap way to not get into a grand final.
And that was only a couple of years ago. It's crazy to see how much the women's game has changed within the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's blown up, and it's getting I think it's now getting that media attention that it's begged for, and even clubs I think they're doing a good, like your Paras, Chooks even, just with like your social medias, just showing who the women players are, so fans can get to know both teams.
And including the women in their centre of excellence, which is huge. Like, obviously, the Roosters, for example, have a lot of their work is in Allianz Stadium, their offices and all that. The old offices we used to have has become a women's high performance area in the entertainment quarter there. Parramatta have kind of split their centre of excellence now. There's a women's side and a men's side, like all in one building. And, you know, I know with the Bulldogs, because I had a look at the plans for their new centre of excellence, they're doing a similar thing. So there's going to be like a women's side and a men's side. Like, obviously, the gym and communal areas are all the same, but, you know, people are putting money into it. When you put money into it, you're going to get results.
Yeah. And I think that's going to pay off in, you give it 10 years' time, and I think there'll be teams for both men and women, and I think it'll pay off as well. They'll start getting good paychecks. Yeah. And, shout out to a mate of mine, my mate's sister, Talara Bamblett. She was in the Parramatta system, and now she's at the West Tigers, so you might see her make her debut this year.
Is that an upgrade going from Para to West? Or?
Well, yeah, she was behind a few players at Para, and she never really got her crack, but yeah, I think she might get a crack this year at the Tigers. And look, they're paying $36, so they might debut a lot of players this year. And she was the first person I actually interviewed when I started off my journalism career. So shout out to her, and we'll try and get her on the potty mid NRLW
Sounds
season.
I reckon it's a good shout.
Didn't she play for the Indigenous women's team earlier in the year?
Yeah, she did too, Luke. Yeah, she was actually not on the rugby league on their touch footy on at Combank, but yeah, no, good on her, and we'll see how the season goes for him.
Yeah, exactly.
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by The Legal Problem Solver. The team brings over 25 years of experience in wills, probate, estates, conveyancing, property and commercial law. Connect with The Legal Problem Solver on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram.
All right, moving in now to round 17. So to kick off the round, this one's going to be a good one. At Combank, Penrith Doggies. Now, Penrith $2.21, Doggies $1.67. Now, I think this is going to be, I reckon, by 4 points either side. I think Penrith are going to turn up for it. Obviously, Stephen Crichton against his old club. Well, the second year going now, but No, it's going to be a highly contested match, fellas. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be 100% agree with you on that. Close game. I was looking at Penrith. I was looking at them today thinking, yeah, Penrith will win. They'll get the close one. But now, I don't know. My heart's saying doggies.
Yeah, that's because you're a closet doggies fan, isn't it, though?
Not since Galvin went to them.
Nah, look, I'll be honest. I'm with you, Luke. I'm going doggies because there is a big cloud over Cleary. Like, they're talking about him not being able to play Origin. So if he can't play Origin in, 2 weeks' time,
Yeah,
2.5 weeks' time, how's he going to roll out for club games with that quad? So, and the rumour is he hurt a pop. So I think the doggies are going to get over. I think Penrith will put up a fight, but it'll be a tough one for them, that's for sure.
I could see like a 22-10 type of game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking, yeah.
And, Brookie, Sea Eagles versus Tigers, $1.52 to $2.53. Now, this game is, I think, I was about to say do or die for both teams, but I think Manly are already dead as things have been going for them. But I think Tigers need this win. Obviously, they're not favourites for this one, but they could have won against Raiders, and a little bit of pressure's mounted on Benji. Like they've obviously improved since last year, but they just aren't getting those W's.
Yeah. No, I'm tipping the Seagulls, but as you said, the Tigers, they turned up the other day in the second half. If they play the way they did in that second half against Manly on Friday night, I reckon they'll get the win.
And there's rumours going Turbo, I think.
Turbo back in the centres and Hopewadi. That's actually why I've gone Manly. I think, and we've seen it this year, every time a coach has come under pressure, their team have come out and played well. And I think that'll be Manly's drive. But Turbo back in the centres, man, I actually reckon he's going to wreak havoc on the Tigers because he's just less pressure on him, man. Just go play your footy.
Slap a few dollars on him and score a few tries.
Yeah, and it's Brookie. Like, look, they've had a couple of bad games at Brookie, but they always show up at Brookie, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, now Nui Raiders. Newcastle $3.37. Canberra $1.33. Like, how do we look at this one? I think Knights gone for their third win in a row. And
No. We interrupted that. The Roosters interrupted that, so it'll be two in a row if they can do it. Dom Young's going for his third win in a row.
Yes, that's right. Dom Young's going for his third. I'm gonna go Canberra here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's one of the easiest games of the round. Canberra 13 plus. The Adam O'Brien talks will be back in the news next week.
Mate, no Fletcher Sharp, no W's for the Knights. It's that simple. Raiders 13 plus.
Do you think they chuck Jacko Hastings in? Or?
Oh, look, they probably will, but I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. Fletcher Sharp has run that team so well this year, so Ponga's not going to step up, and I doubt Hastings will either.
Yeah. All right. Broncos $1.57. Warriors $2.40. Obviously picking up a few injuries after that loss against Penrith. I'm gonna go Broncos here. I think they're gonna have a bit more of a convincing win. They just scraped home against Cronulla, but 13 plus for me for the Bronx.
I'm saying Broncos 1-12 actually.
1-12, yep.
I'm actually going with Luke 1-12 because I think the Wars will hold in there, but I think they're going to struggle a bit with those injuries.
Always good seeing them get a big fan base up in Suncorp. They got
especially when it drowns out the Broncos fans.
It'll be exciting to see and hear them.
Do you think if Warriors do lose this one, do they risk falling out of the top four? Or there's still a lot of games.
Yes and no. With the way the comp is and how close everyone is, like legitimately, you think about it, there's 10 points separating 17th and 4th. Like that's 5 wins. I think they'll stick around that 4. Even if they drop to 5 or 6, they'll still be very well within shooting distance.
I'd love for us Chookies to get 4th. But
get up there.
We'll see what happens. Now Saints versus the Eels, $1.64 to $2.27. What are we thinking of this one, lads? Down in the gong.
I know the Eels look good on Sunday night, but mate, Riley Smith out, Will Penasini out, as I mentioned before. I think the Dragons will be too good. I know Flanagan's halfback for them.
Yep.
Most likely. He'll be getting Macca's in Wollongong on Saturday night.
Mate, I don't reckon he will.
Against his old club.
Oh, is it the first game? But no. They played earlier this year. That's right, because Lomax kicked the field goal. I don't know, man. I'm going Eels. I just Flanagan at 7 is useless, and that's the nice way to put it. I think the Eels are going to sneak over. I think it'll be close, but
I think it's going to be the battle of the fullbacks. Whoever turns up on the night between Gutherson and Iongi.
I reckon Iongi's got it on. Will have it on him, eh?
Yeah. I'm going to go Eels just got one over them at the beginning of the year, so I'm gonna go Saints at home. My mate Trent, he's going down there. He's a Para fan, so Dragons 13 plus.
no Lomax field goal. Normally it's Moses field goal. So no Lomax field goal again.
I've retired that. I've retired that. Maybe for Origin, we'll see. All right, Dolphins versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs. $1.55 to $2.47. What are we thinking, Geordie?
I think the Dolphins. I know Bostock's out. I just think for how well the Dolphins have played for 3 straight weeks, they had their off week against the Knights. The Knights stepped up. South will come out with a bit of a fire from last week, but I think that Katoa and Nikorima, that combination just there alone is too good to be beaten. I think they're going to get it up over them pretty comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, South's had a big performance against Melbourne, but Dolphins, they look too strong lately.
Yeah.
They've been looking good. I know they had a bit of a slip-up against Nui, but they'll be coming out strong next week.
Plus, we need to break this curse of Bennett crap. Christian Wolf needs to win against Bennett.
Yeah. I'm going to go Souths here. We're going to Souths 1-12. I reckon Latrell might have a big game. And, yeah, I think Alex Johnson might get a few more tries and try and get Ken Irvine on the...
what is he, 6 behind now?
7.
7. Oh, 6 to tie, 7 to get it, yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm doing a multi with sports, mate, I'm going Souths 1-12 and maybe I'll go Alex Johnson for 2.
Ooh.
Sure for a field goal?
Nah. Maybe we'll see.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't kick them on Saturday nights, as we found out. Only Friday nights.
All right. Melbourne versus Sharks. Obviously, we touched on this one earlier with Cronulla. $1.33 for Melbourne. Sharks in $3.34. So I think the punters are back in Melbourne here. I'm going to back them 40 plus. It's going to be a big one, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna come out because they're gonna have a rocket up their rear ends. But mate, if you go on the points, definitely go over 50 points because even if the Sharks manage to score 20, Storm are going to score 40. So it's going to be a big score, I reckon.
I'm predicting Melbourne 13 plus, but I feel like Sharks going to hold in the game. I don't think it's going to be a big score.
Yep.
I reckon something like 28-14 or something. Just over the 13 plus mark.
All right, sweet. And Titans with another Sunday game. $2.27 at home against the Cowboys, $1.64. Look, Cowboys, they're looking for a win. They're coming off 3 pretty big losses. So they'll definitely want to turn it up against the Titans. What are we thinking, lads?
I'm going Cowboys. Cowboys just have the wood over the Titans. They always have, especially after last week. Peyton, again, there's going to be another club with a rocket up its rear. I reckon Cowboys are going to get over. It's going to be 1-12, but Robson back, Cotter back, Dearden will have full support. Cowboys will get up.
I'm saying Cowboys 13 plus.
Yeah, I'm going to go 13 plus.
They had a couple players out yesterday, and with them back next week, they'll be coming out strong, needing this win after 3 losses.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it'll just be a little nail in the coffin for Dez. I think it'll be a big loss at home, but yeah, and obviously the Chookies, they'll have the bye, so hopefully we get over the bye this round.
I'm calling by 8.
By 8.
Who's reffing that one? Klein again?
Yeah, no, Klein is, so that's why I said by 8.
Yeah.
We'll still lose the penalty count 10-1.
But yeah, we probably will lose the penalty count 10-1, but it'll be good. It'll be good. Chooks get the break, and then they'll be up against. They'll have a good break actually. They
Come
won't
back
be
to the Tigers
on a Sunday, so they've got a healthy little break there. See which player's going a little
No
higher.
Origin players that round too.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
So no Luai for the West, and we'll miss our 5 as usual, I presume.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to the RMTV podcast. Just remember to like, drop a comment, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. From all of us here at the RMTV podcast, it's goodbye.